What's up, everybody? And today we are reacting to ORKS War is Life Warhammer 40k lore / history from Luetin09. I'm excited to watch this. The ORKS are really cool, and I'm interested to see Warhammer's take on it because I've seen ORKS in many other different stories before, but I don't know much about the ones in Warhammer 40k apart from people telling me that they're kind of like a mushroom in some sense. I don't know. We'll find out. Today was supposed to be a gameplay and I'm supposed to be streaming, but I'm not doing either of that because I'm actually really sick and I just wanted to enjoy watching a video with you guys and relaxing. Before I get started though, don't forget, huge announcement down below, OriginalAdventures. We now have 2 vlogs on there, vlogs with my family. It's a ton of fun. Go and check it out. We're renovating a bus and we're going to be traveling the country. It's going to be a ton of fun, so definitely go check that out. OriginalAdventures. Link down below to the YouTube and the Instagram. But for now, let's shut up and let's react to ORKS War is Life, Warhammer 40k lore and history. These videos are so good. Damn, that's loud. Let me turn that down a bit. Jeez. Also, the pinnacle of creation, for them the great struggle is won. Who are we to judge them? We are the who have failed, or the humans on the road to ruin. Because we sought answers and questions that orcs couldn't even bother to ask. We see a culture that is strong, and despite it, as crude. You don't get much time to read all that stuff, do you? Holy, this sounds kind of gross. I don't really like it all that much.
Orcs are one of the most fearsome, savage, insidious, and most well-established races in the 41st millennium. They lack any empathy even toward their own race, and they exist as a genetically engineered creation of instinct and a DNA-coded sense of purpose.
I wonder if that's where the whole mushroom thing comes into play.
They're created for one task and one collective goal only: to wage unending war.
Okay.
The Orcs are one of the older races in the 41st millennium, along with the Eldar, being created by the Old Ones. The then Kruk would later become what are now known as the race of Orcs.
So they did mention that in one of the previous videos that the Orcs were created by the Old Ones, which were then destroyed by the Necrons. So surely the Necrons are like way more powerful than the Orcs? That's probably not how it works, is it, to be honest? That's probably not how it works, but still, it's kind of strange that they were created by the Old Ones, right?
The Eldar were a higher form of design, with them possessing many levels of high intelligence. The Orcs are their exact opposite, working on pure genetic instinct. Orcs and greenskins in general, though, are not born from sexual reproduction, they're rather grown from spores. And all orcs are grown from these same spores and fungus, be they lowly snotlings and Gretchen or full-blown orc warriors. Once a planet becomes infected with orc fungus, either by chance or invasion, it'll likely never be free again, having to forever defend against the unrelenting green menace.
Interesting.
This infection is often likened to something like a terminal disease. Once a world is contaminated, it will surely be a case of when, not if, it will eventually wither and die.
That's a really cool concept.
Orcs are enemies to all throughout the galaxy, but despite their crude and instinctive-driven nature, they should never be underestimated. Defense to an orc assault can seem almost hopeless from the outset for some human worlds. With all their strength and power that they can wield, to fight the orcs is nothing other than a battle of attrition, a slow grinding down of morale and willpower.
So there's no, like, if these orcs infect a planet, there's absolutely no way of getting rid of it. Probably unless they destroy the planet, but surely there's a way. Surely there's a way for him to get rid of it. Surely they figured that out at this point, right?
Successful defense against any assault from the Greenskins only buoys their spirits and emboldens them further to attack again with more fury and more enthusiasm. They won't relent, they won't slow or surrender. There is no respite, there is no escape. A planet infected by the Orc menace is a doomed world.
That sucks.
Orcs possess a powerful genetic sense of being to fight, to conquer, and to never surrender under any circumstances. Their strategies, if you could call them that, are usually unsurprisingly simple and unashamedly direct: to overwhelm the enemy with sheer weight of numbers or absolute weapon superiority, to never show their enemies mercy, to smash and obliterate all who oppose them under an unrelenting green tide of ultra violence.
Sounds pretty fun. It sounds like they're having a good time.
They wage war with machines that defy logic and technical understanding, and they care little for strategic gain, are seen to be just as likely to slaughter one another as they are the enemy, but most especially if an enemy is in their sights. Orcs are often reported to, for example, skewer one another with swords and other melee weapons just so as to gain a killing blow to an opponent, crush their kin with their own vehicles with little, if any, regard, and use heavy weaponry without thought to such a thing as friendly casualties. Imperial forces are often left to wonder, how does one battle an enemy that defies all logic?
You just blow them up.
And their answer is usually exterminatus.
Yeah. Exterminatus. That kind of sucks though. I wonder if there's any stories of like Earth having infections from orcs or anything like that. Like, is there some major planets that have had this infection before? Or is it strictly like outside of the regular solar system? Let me know in the comments.
The orcs, as mentioned previously, are an engineered species. They were created some 60 million years ago by the Old Ones, who also created the Eldar and seeded life across the galaxy. The orcs were created, as were the Eldar, to wage war against the Necrons, the ancient enemy of the Old Ones.
I kind of want to know more about this, origin story of the Warhammer 40k universe. I kind of want to know more about that, guys.
And the orcs would refer to their creators as the Brain Boys.
The Brain Boys.
Now, while the Eldar were made to be highly intelligent with extremely powerful psychic powers so as to best counter the Necron and Catan threat, the Orcs, then Krork, however, were the antithesis of the Eldar. Muscle-bound, irrationally aggressive, and rarely showing signs of advanced intelligence. They're driven by designed instinct. Orcs, you see, require war and brutality, as others might need food and water to sustain them. To an orc, war and brutal savagery is not a desire, it's a physical requirement to their identity. And this is why they often fight amongst themselves as much as they would any outside races. While they do possess advanced tech, it is maintained by a class known as Odd Boys, who, as with all other orcs, are driven more by just a gut feeling, a born knowledge.
I want to know more about why the names have changed as well. Why was they called something different back in the day and now they're called orcs? Like, what's all that about?
Than a true awareness of what they're actually doing. Unlike the Imperium of the 41st millennium, the Odd Boys possess the instinct of skill to not only maintain, but more importantly, to actually develop technology, if you can really call it such. This skill isn't learned or researched by any conventional sense of tech development, it's instead bound into their genetics. As with all things orc, most of their skills are instinctive. The best way to really envisage this is for them to just smash things together until by some miracle it just works. A kind of deadly galactic scrap heap challenge, if you will.
Isn't this what I think it was in Bricky's video where they were saying how they would put things together and just think that it works, and because they think that it works, it starts working. Didn't he say something like that? Something really weird?
Orcs don't possess any random evolutionary psychic powers as humans might, and say, evolutionary, if it's the Old Ones which have seeded life, perhaps it's by design, but nonetheless, the psychic power with orcs is comically random, and again, being by design from their creators, the Old Ones, this bizarre psychic power allows for orcs to literally will something to be true, that if just enough of them believe it, then it will be so.
That's
For example,
really cool.
the classic painting their war machines a certain color may imbue it with a power, like being more powerful with explosives or just to go faster. Just because enough orcs will believe it to be so, with the proximity of numbers of them, means it will become a reality. This enables orcs to achieve things like space travel, even controlling space hulks and bringing them into real space under orc modified control.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to really like the orcs. They're just like, guys, I think this is gonna work, and they're all like, yeah, I think it's gonna work too. And then because of that, it actually works. That's hilarious.
A terrifying thought, as well as bringing huge war machines to a battlefield. All of these things, by all rational logic, should be outside their realm of skill and possibility, and this genetic trait is also why orc technology, whilst essentially being just a random collection of things smashed together, will become devastatingly fearsome war machines in the hands of orcs.
Yeah.
But then would just as easily return to being useless junk in the hands of other races.
That's
It's a clever
awesome.
solution to the threat of your war gear falling into the hands of an enemy, and again, this is by design of the old ones. Conversely though, if orc numbers dwindle, then it can be potentially counterproductive. Unlike other races who can wield immense power reliably, even in singular or small numbers, any number of examples would suit, from, say, Imperial Assassins to Grey Knights and Eldar Wraith Knights. The more
Speaking of Grey Knights, Luetin09 does have a big series about that. If you want me to react to that, let me know down below. But I'll tell you what, the orcs sound fun. They sound a ton of fun, don't they? They sound very comical in a way, where I think if you watched like a TV show about the orcs in the Warhammer 40k universe, it would be almost like a comedy, wouldn't it? Like a brutal comedy.
more or less of their own race will not have a bearing on their success, their strength, or their functionality of their tech. Not so much with the orcs. The awareness of this orc psychic functionality came into general understanding through the Imperium of Man's tech priests, who, through their own cultivated belief in a machine spirit that inhabits technology, and that this machine spirit serves mankind at the command of the machine god. This imbued them with a perspective and point of reference that enabled them to see the truth of how orcs were able to bring technology to the fore that should have been far out of their reach. Lastly, the orc race's anatomy is particularly interesting. The old ones obviously wanted the orcs or Krork to be functional as a warrior race, a biological war machine. But before you have the ability to wage war, you still have to fulfill any life form's basic needs, like sustenance, food, water, the basics of life. The old ones in their wisdom imbued the orcs with a powerful genetic advantage here on top of their already many powerful genetic traits. For one, when it comes to food and liquid intake, the orcs can use their own growing fungus as a food source. They'll happily eat pretty much anything though when it comes to meat, and the lower orc forms of snotlings will cultivate this fungus food. The more interesting elements of their biology though is that orcs really are something like a symbiotic animal-fungus hybrid, making them partly eukaryotic in nature.
Interesting.
Now, fungus was historically part of the plant kingdom, but fungi lack chlorophyll, the green pigment in plants that converts light energy to chemical energy. They also have other distinct structural and physiological features and are so classed separately from plants. Now, it has been suggested that orcs' green skin and their blood could directly contain chlorophyll, so as to allow orcs to actually photosynthesize as a plant does, and thereby provide orcs with some energy so they can survive longer without actual food. Now, the only problem, this makes absolutely no sense for the reasons that I just mentioned. Fungi don't have chlorophyll. So if orcs grow and were cultivated as a plant-based life form, in part, this would actually be more reasonable. But they're not. They're grown from fungi. So apparently the generator Magos biologists of the Imperium should actually do some more microscopic comparisons before they reach their conclusions. However,
that's so interesting that the theory of the anatomy of the orc is still under debate on what the hell's going on with them.
It's also suggested that orcs in their blood and bodies may contain some sort of algae, and that this might be actually what's responsible for the coloration and then also possibly the ability to photosynthesize to a degree.
That
This
could
is a
make
more
sense.
reasonable concept, but as with all alien races, information is pretty scarce, and speculation is abound. So this one point aside, other orc anatomical interests are that an orc's animal-fungal symbiosis means that they actually contain less critical organs than, say, a human, meaning orcs can afford to take wounds and damage that actually might kill a lesser creature.
I wonder if that means if they get like an arm chopped off, they could grow it back or something. You know? Can they grow limbs back?
But it will allow them to continue functioning. Part of the reason they are so surely haphazard when in battle, almost careless, is their bodies are essentially designed to be simple, practical, and operate even when catastrophically damaged.
Right.
Which rings true of everything we know about their purpose and their design. They were designed to be a biological war machine and nothing more. Orc growth, though, is a strange thing, whereby orcs will grow according to, I suppose, unsurprisingly, how violent they are. They'll generally continue to grow at a varying rate dependent on how successful they are in combat, be that versus other orcs or their enemies, and then their growth will stagnate again.
That's hilarious. So they'll literally keep getting bigger if they keep killing things. That's definitely orc style, innit?
Orcs live across a wide and scattered number of worlds throughout the galaxy, some in a state of war, some in endless skirmishes, and some dominating worlds, ruling them as overlords, with often human slaves obeying their brutal command. The Orcs' expansion was really an accident, as best known in Orc history. Of course it was. This is why even now their settlements are often random with no real pattern, focus, or direction. The Eldar claim Orcs have become part of reality itself. Mankind, as well, scouted, probed the galaxy, all of the known galaxy, and everywhere that they explored, they found the Orc.
Whoa.
The galaxy at this point is contaminated beyond any hopes of cleansing and salvaging it from the Orc. Because of the random and haphazard fashion by which Orcs discover, explore, and inhabit the galaxy, they have splintered into various communities, if you want to call them that. These communities are...
I'm guessing it's like clans. They'll have some sort of clan thing and they'll all kind of go against each other every now and again.
They're usually just a confederacy of tribes, either loosely or under a warlord. Each tribe is a random bunch of orcs just smashed together with clans and various mechs and materials. It's a mishmash of violence and constructivity. It's best not to overthink it. It bears no resemblance to any ordered sense of a community or a society. Orcs have known of mankind and their emperor for some time. They know that humans worship the Emperor and have seen his shrines and symbols across human society. They regard the Emperor as the god of the humans. And this is easy for orcs to understand as they have their own gods. Even though they see humans as weak, they do respect the Emperor as a powerful war god.
So the orcs have their own god? I feel like their god would just be like an axe or something.
From the orc point of view, the Emperor is a constant warlord to the humans. They see him everywhere in human society, and so do the orcs. This widespread war god must surely be powerful, and therefore to be respected. Some orcs speak of a legend where the Emperor would appear as a manifestation challenging the orc gods to battle, but still, despite this, he's also seen to the orcs as a confusing figure. Why he would command his human servants to take on so many pointless tasks when they could be just fighting makes no sense to the orcs. The humans' constant failures or their stress and despair seems to underline this confusion for orcs, hence why they often use the word human as a slang for things that are pointless, impractical, or just counterproductive. The orcs' attitude to life is fairly simple, and therefore they cope with the realities of the universe far better than many other races. With no overarching goals and day-to-day concerns being really only whether to build or fight or eat, it's quite
I want to know more about the gods, the orc gods.
a stress-free life, especially when you have no fear of your own mortality from an orc's point of view. Generally speaking, they don't try to influence their own destiny, they don't try to apportion blame, unless it's some stupid Gretchen looking to get his head bashed in. Their hatred is spread equal among their enemies and their allies, and if they fail, they feel no guilt, try again in a different way. Unlike humanity, chaos has little to any fear or effect with orcs. Their minds are hardwired to their simple day-to-day activities, so dreams of power and turning against each other for some cause, it's not something that's likely to spread very insidiously through a tribe of orcs. They're probably too busy already killing each other over some far more trivial matter. And because of their simple and objectively speaking stress-free lifestyle, it leaves little psychic stress by which chaos can actually invade them.
Imagine if they did actually like work together to take over the universe. They probably could because of the whole fungi thing and how it quickly dominates the planet. If they actually were some order to the orcs, they would probably dominate. They probably would. And even though on the outside they just look like this brutish mess of a race, if you think about it, the tactics of infesting a planet and basically destroying that planet because they'll never leave, it's pretty smart. It's pretty smart. They're literally designed for war. They could take over the universe if they were actually smart enough to do it.
Also, even though some races may look upon the orcs as evil, either due to their near mindless savagery or their endless conquest of worlds, this is actually a pretty ignorant perspective. Lumping orcs in alongside dark forces like Chaos or Dark Elder is really a disservice to the orcs, because they exist by design, and they have become simply very effective at existing. They follow their instincts, and these are hard-coded into their very being. Evil? I don't think so. But brutally savage? Definitely.
Yeah.
It's also often mistaken that perhaps if one were to see Chaos and Orc fighting on the same battlefield, that they are somehow an alliance. In reality, it's probably more simply that the orcs just see them as other fighters on the field, who they'll probably turn to deal with in short order once the nearer enemy to them has been battered into submission.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when it comes to trade, orcs strangely do have this as part of their culture, and they use their teeth. Literally their teeth. It's actually a comically natural solution to economic inflation, because orcs go through their teeth similarly to something like a shark. They replace and regrow them frequently. Orc teeth also degrade over time, so it's impossible to stockpile them. This keeps prices in orc trading constant and ensures that all orcs have access to regular currency and commodities. And besides, if you're running short on teeth, it's no problem. You can just go smash some other orc's face in and get yourself some more.
Like I said, it is literally like a comedy. Like an orc show, an orc TV show would be a comedy. It'd be a brutal comedy, 110%.
Orc language is deemed as being low gothic, and orcs are able to communicate with others, but at a very basic level. Orc script, though, is very different altogether, and it's actually written in glyphs. The core of this is simple clan indicators, and these are then adapted using phonetic symbols which can form some of the key orc words. It's pretty simple though, because it's just generally not needed by the orc race. They function by design, not structure or organization. They have no need to keep records, log data, or any other useful societal function for writing and literature. These aren't important for orcs. The orc way is one of near anarchy. They're ruled by traditions and understandings much more than laws and governing. And it's pretty simple. Orc society is about conflict. Strong orcs will rise up, weak ones will work or are killed, and they in turn benefit from the leadership of the stronger orcs. If an orc tribe is beaten by a stronger one, the survivors gain the leadership of a better tribe, making them stronger. There's no rules about a tribe's size, location, or purpose. It's just the rough grouping of orcs in a given area at a given time. And each is led by a warlord whose authority is pretty loose, giving just maybe enough rule to prevent all the orcs from turning on each other.
It seems like, for the most part, it's just chaos. It's just pure chaos, but there is some order in that chaos just naturally, which I think is kind of ironic. And again, I think it would be a comedy. I am actually really enjoying learning more about the orcs. I thought, when I first saw Warhammer 40k and I saw all these different races, the orcs were probably on the lowest on my radar. They just didn't seem all that fun. They're just orcs, like generic orcs, like your typical fantasy trope. But they're not, are they? They're so different and they're so unique in the 40k universe, and it makes it really fun. We're gonna end it there. I usually only do about 20 minutes. If you want me to keep reacting to this video, let me know in the comments. If you hit that like button, hit it. I never say hit that like, but why did I say that? Why did I say that? Just press the like button. Don't hit it. Just press it. I'm not that guy. press the like button and comment down below if you want me to crack on with this series. I certainly will, because I do enjoy it, and Luetin09 videos are really, really good and really interesting. So let me know in the comments what you think. If it gets enough likes and gets enough comments, I will certainly carry on with this on video. If not, I'll just watch it in my own time. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think the orcs are severely underrated. Now, they really are on my radar, and I think they're a ton of fun. I really do. And again, I think it would be a comedy. Let me know if you think I'm right by saying that. I think it would be a comedy if they had their own TV show. Members, you're amazing. I love you. I couldn't do this without you. I honestly couldn't make videos every single day if it wasn't for these members right here. So thank you for supporting the channel as much as you do. I really appreciate it. Links down below to Original Adventures, my new family vlog. We're transforming a school bus into a home and traveling the US. It's going to be a ton of fun. Definitely go and check out Original Adventures. Link down below to the YouTube and the Instagram. Also, link down below to all my socials, including link down below to all my socials, including my Discord links as well. We've got the military link for all things military, and the geek link for all things Warhammer, SCP, D&D, Halo, Metro, Star Wars, all the geek stuff all over there. I can't think today, guys. I'm really sick, so I apologize about that. Also, link down below to my podcast and my Twitch stream, where I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm not streaming today because I'm sick. Also, link down below to my second channel, OriginalHuman Geek, where we just uploaded the first episode of Waystone, my own original D&D campaign that I've created for the lads. I'm really excited for you guys to check that out. Waystone, link down below. And I'll leave a link down below to the original video. Please go over there, like it, subscribe to Luetin09. He's awesome. Until next time, guys, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.